Well, we got a cloudy day with a little bit of a threat of rain, but we don't really believe it's going to rain much. But we got a couple more people into camp here. As we pass Tim, there's a big old fifth wheel here, and it's Denny. And then there's another fifth wheel. He brought a friend with him, so we got more people into camp, which is always a fun thing. And we got more people coming in. More people coming in this coming week. So we're gonna have a big camp here with good friends, good people. We'll have campfires, and I saw Denny putting out his Blackstone, so he'll be cooking stuff. I know that, and I know if they're cooking stuff and Dottie and I wander over looking pitiful, we might get something. But Dottie's with me today. We're gonna go pick up a big package that I have and fill some propane. The big package is, you're gonna be seeing a video on this. I have what they call a tonneau cover on the back of my pickup truck, and I've purchased a more of a cap than a cover. Now, I didn't get a hard cover because those things are $2,000 or $3,000. But there's a really rugged fabric one I bought for about just under $1,000 delivered. I saw the video on how to install it. Let me tell you, it's a little complex, but I have campmates that will help me install that, and I will video them installing it so you can see how it gets done. And had good reviews. Plus, I have a friend of mine that has one, same company, same model. He's had it for several years, and he just thinks it's wonderful. So what it's going to do, I say this and I laugh when I say it, because everybody that's an RVer, especially a full-timer, knows what's really going to happen. So here's my intention is, right now, look at all these cars coming. So right now, I have to pack the pickup, when I move camps, that is, I have to pack the back of my pickup bed like that old Tetris game. You got to get it to get everything in there, and I can barely close the cover. So here's the theory is, hey, if I get this cap, which gives another 2 or 3 feet, and I can pack things in much easier. But we all know what's going to happen, right? You can say it. You can say it out loud. You can say it in the comments. Rob, you're just going to get more stuff, right? And you're right. I will be getting more stuff, I'm sure. I don't have any plans for anything in particular, but one thing I've learned as a nomad, we tend to grow into the space that we have. And it takes some discipline if you're going to be a minimalist, it takes some discipline to remain a minimalist. So anyway, that's what I'm doing today. I'm on my way into town to do that, bringing Dottie with me because it's Dottie's 9th birthday. If you didn't see the little video I did of her this morning, I sang happy birthday to her when I got up, and she wasn't real thrilled about it because it was like 5 in the morning, and I sang happy birthday, and she kind of nodded off at the end of me singing. But she perked up when I took her for a walk and got her birthday breakfast, which is nice ground beef and vegetables and a bunch of sliced up sausage. So, and then she had a couple of treats. So, because it's her 9th birthday today, Dottie isn't going to be staying home. She's going to, everything I do today, Dottie's going to do with me. Because it's her special day. And so I'm going to stop by on the way out at the dumpster at Leposa West. And that's one of the cool things. If you have an LTVA pass, you can use the facilities at any one of the LTVAs. There are 4 of them here. And it's a little bit easier for me to dump the garbage here than having to drive back into Leposa South and turn around and come back. Because now, this is a theory, guys. It's a theory. Because I haven't done this yet, but Tim assures me that the dumpster is practically right off the road in Leposa West. I don't see it. I do not see the dumpster. We will see. We'll see if it's true. Tim's very rarely wrong about things, though. Okay, I'm scanning. I see it. There it is. It is pretty near the front. I know the one in north is, it's a quarter, maybe almost a half a mile back. But this one looks like it's right here. We just got a couple of things, a box and a couple of bags. Doesn't look very busy at all. There's one guy there and he's about to pull away. So today being, I believe it's the 3rd of January, we're closing in on, hey, 7B. Hey, 7B. You didn't hear me, but that's hey. I know 7B, Sandpoint and Sago man here from years back. Yeah. Where you guys live? Sago? Yeah, that's where I live with my brother. So I don't know if you heard me yelling. But you might find this kind of funny. So in Idaho, the first 2 positions of the license plate tells you the county. And the county that I lived in and my brother's been in for 50 years is Bonner County. And it's 7B. And I saw it and I yelled out to him, hey, 7B. And we were actually lived in the same little town, Sago, Idaho. So we started talking. I realized there are people waiting for me to dump in the trash bin, in the dumpster. So I hurried up and I ran back and I forgot to open the tailgate and I ran back and did that. And I really can't stand inconveniencing people. And I felt like I was inconveniencing the people behind me. And in my haste, one of my garbage bags flew open and garbage went everywhere. So luckily the people behind me, the woman got out and she said, it's okay. And she helped me pick up the garbage. So nice. I was telling her, the 2 things I really dislike is inconveniencing people and littering. And my garbage was kind of being blown everywhere. It wasn't fun. But I survived it, and the people from Idaho waited a little while, but they had to go, and I didn't get to talk to them. So if you're watching and that was you from Sago, I'm sorry. I didn't get to talk to you, and I dumped garbage everywhere. Oh boy. And Dottie didn't seem to care a lick. She's like napping, aren't you, Dottie? Well, and things look really busy. I'm looking down Kuhn Street, and it's just wall-to-wall vehicles. I can't really see how many new tents there are from here without taking my eye off the road, so we won't be able to see that. We're going to go to Patty's just for convenience sake, but as it turns out, right now we believe the cheapest, least expensive, I don't like using the word cheap, the least expensive propane is at RV Lifestyles. But that's kind of the other end of town. But they do have a couple of weeks ago, I think it was maybe 10 or 15 cents less than Patty's. I mean, unless you're filling a big tank, that doesn't make a huge difference. I'm doing I think 2 20-pounders that I'm filling now. They both have some in. They're not completely empty, but I want to get everything filled up to the brim all at the same time. And then I'm going to mark the day that everything was full, and I'm going to start measuring consumption for my new heater, how long it takes to go through 20 pounds on that. If you want to see that, I'll include the video on the new heater, Empire heater that I got, and I wanted to figure out how much propane that uses and how much propane my refrigerator is using. Plus, I use the propane for the main propane on my trailer for my refrigerator and stove. And I don't cook a ton on the stove. And also my Blackstone. So again, I don't do a lot of cooking. I should do more cooking, but I don't. But it's primarily going to be propane consumption of my the propane consumption of my refrigerator. Well, I managed to pick up my package. I went to Roadrunner and bought some groceries. Got my propane. Just filled up my water, and I'm on my way back. And it's noticeably busier in QUARTZSITE. I could say that with confidence. There was a loud disagreement between a couple of people outside the mail place, and it looked like it ended in at least a short car chase. One guy got pissed at the other one, honking at him, so he jumped in his truck and peeled out after him. You know, I just have to reiterate, if you're here in QUARTZSITE in January, you need to bring your patients with you, because it is crowded. Everyone servicing you is overworked and likely underpaid, and there are people driving all over the place here, many of which are new here. They don't know where to go, where to turn, where not to turn, how fast to go, how slow to go. They just don't know. And you have to be vigilant about your driving. Drive very defensively. I mean, I realize I'm talking to you as I'm driving in QUARTZSITE, but I'm not looking at the camera. I am looking at the road, and actually, I need to make a stop, and I'll all right, I'm back. So I was saying, this time of year, you just got to be patient. You got to be vigilant. Like I said, right now, I am watching both sides of the road, people coming out of parking lots, and just laser-like focus, because this January is a dangerous time to drive in QUARTZSITE. I mean, not necessarily to life and limb, but, you know, in town, there's a lot of confusion. Fortunately, the speeds are relatively low, but you also got to watch for pedestrians and bicyclists, and you just got to be extra careful, because there are so many more people in town, and so many people are new and disoriented, and they might do unexpected things. And bring your patience with you. You know, I had to mail at my mail service. I had to mail something, and I had to pick up 2 packages, and it was very crowded, and the whole thing probably took 20 minutes. But expect that. This is a town of like 2,800 people, and it gets invaded with 1.5 million people in the winter. So just be prepared to wait, and bring your patience with you. Let's see, we're heading back to camp, and I think I told you we got two new rigs just came in, and we're expecting at least 1 or 2 more this week, so we're gonna have a pretty full, exciting camp for the month of January, and that's the way I like it. I don't know if you can see on the screen. I don't know what, everything gets reversed when I publish, so I don't know where I'm pointing. But on the corner here, there's lots of Tiffins for sale, and prices on them like $200,000, $300,000. I'd love to have one of those if I had a few $100,000 sitting around doing nothing, which I don't. And never will. I think I talk about this frequently, that when I turn 65, and it's a little over a year from now, a year and a month, I'll be collecting a couple of small pensions. So that'll be an adjunct to my income, and I may use that money to change out my RV from my 21-foot micro mini to something bigger. And as I'm apt to do, I'll change my mind 40 times between now and then. But right now, I'm leaning towards a Class A towing, something like a Jeep, some 4-wheel drive thing that I can maybe take out into the desert, but also use as kind of a car to go into town. And I'm going to be looking at something fairly old. Tim, my friend, who's parked right next to me, and this is my 3rd year camping with him, has a Monaco, and it's a diesel pusher, and it's over 20 years old, and you walk into the thing, and it's like you think you're in a brand new coach. It was that well made. So I'm looking at something like that. It's kind of interesting. You would think, well, if you had $200,000 or $300,000 and you bought a brand new one, you'd have less of a headache. I gotta tell you, probably not true. All you gotta do is spend some time watching YouTube videos, and you find out that in some ways the newer ones are worse. They develop problems right at the bat. You're getting it, trying to get it back in for warranty work. Or a used one, maybe a lot of things or parts are worn out, but also they've worked out a lot of the kinks too. So I'm thinking an older one. I will utilize 2 sources of information to make my decision on which one to buy. One will be, I will absolutely hire a certified well recommended, probably expensive RV inspector before I buy anything. In addition to that, if Tim isn't with me, I will pay for him to travel to where I am, and I would have, after the inspection, I would have him look at it and give me his opinion before I pull the trigger. But I think of that every time I drive through town now and look at those big Class A's. Now, I realize I'd be giving up some flexibility, right? Like when I go for the summer, I'll be in New Mexico again and all in the state parks, and there's never a worry that I'll be able to fit my rig into a campsite. It's just not a worry because I'm small. It's a 21-foot trailer. I can get it in just about any site. Now, if I have a 35 or 40-foot motorhome, that's a different story. And if I'm got a 35 or 40-foot motorhome and I'm towing a Jeep or something, then we're talking about, I don't know, 50, 60 feet length. That's not for a campsite, but for driving around. That's quite a big difference. So, there's a lot to consider in the next year. I may just stick with my Winnebago Micro Mini, who knows? So, not a great solar day. Not great at all. Very cloudy. And the forecast says like a 57% chance of rain around 3 o'clock. And my bet is, based on my experience here, that there's a very good chance we will not see a drop where we are. And even if we get what's forecasted, it'll be very brief. And then I think we got some sunny days coming at us the next few days, so I'll gain some ground on the solar. There's a bit of a mystery with not just my solar system, but I with the exception of Tim doesn't seem to have this problem, but Daryl has this problem. My friend Sally with a brand new system had this problem. Things are chugging along, and you're measuring what your state of charge is, right? When you're full, your state of charge theoretically is 100%, and with lithium, you can go down. Theoretically, you can go to zero, right? I don't think anyone with any sense would go much below 20%, certainly not below 10% before they find an alternative way to charge up. But I've never been close to either of those numbers. I think I've been in the high 40s is the lowest I've gotten, but there was a time where, it said my state of charge was like 62%, and all of a sudden everything went off in the coach. The low voltage alarm went off on my inverter, and it behaved as if I was out of power and I had to charge it up. And it was a bit of a mystery, and it's happened in the past 2 years. It's happened twice. So my solution, without knowing exactly what's going on or why, we did all the standard things that you look for, loose connections and things of that nature, and making sure everything's going through the shunt, so you're measuring amps in and amps out properly. Which I got people here that really know what they're doing, and we check everything. So what I'm doing now is, and we're getting back to camp here, I monitor my charge controller shows my low and high voltage for each day. So given that, I have noticed when I look at the history, both those times, the precursor to that problem has been a low voltage during the day that it happens or the day before it happens gets very close to 12 volts. it usually runs between the low voltage, and keep in mind, you get that low voltage like if you just do your microwave or something with a big draw, it's going to temporarily draw that voltage down, then it will recover it. But when my low voltage gets near 12, that's when the funky thing happens. So what I've decided and I've done is I track that every day. When it gets anywhere near, when it starts getting below 12.5 and certainly 12.3, then that following day I fire up my generator and I charge my batteries up to what we call absorption level, and I do absorption for about 90 minutes and I get to what's known as float. So that sort of resets that voltage, and I don't know why it, like Tim doesn't have this problem. Tim draws his battery down. He draws his battery down to 30%, and he doesn't worry about it. And over time, it works its way back up naturally through his solar. And maybe it's that he's just got that much more solar than I do. So I don't know. It's a bit of a mystery, and I've done my share of research and trying to figure it out. What I found is it's not uncommon, and that's factoid number one. Factoid number two is I haven't found an explanation that really has made any sense. So no definitive explanation. So anyway, that's the video for today, and Dottie is sound asleep next to me here. Dottie, do you want to get up and go outside? Do you want to go lay in your bed? Okay, y'all take care. Bye.